Listen Up Maryland with Phil and Rye is brought to you by Dempsey's Grill, Sportsland, your complete team outfitter, and by High Chroma Studios.
All right, Ron, here we go. So they wanted to see who we have in this Super Bowl 55 on CBS on, about a week?
Yeah.
They wanted to see who we have winning, so we're going to deliver. We're going to tell them. Ryan, so let me just start off with the way Kansas City runs their offense. Under Andy Reid, I absolutely love it. The style that they play, how they deliver in these ball games. They were down by 9 early against the Buffalo Bills, remember? And I'm sure some people are probably thinking, well, they're going to be in trouble. No, and I'm sitting back thinking, well, no, they're not. Because Deshaun Watson, if you remember, went into Kansas City in the divisional round. I think it was, 2018, 19? Mm-hmm. They were up, you told me, they were up 24-0.
Yep.
Kansas City, this guy right here, still came back being down 24-0. So, yeah, look, first of all, give credit to this offense. It seems like they always find themselves down by 9, 10, maybe even 14 points. But you can't ever score enough points against this guy. And it seems like that's the same narrative against Tom Brady, right? So, look, this could be the best, and I got my wish, I did. This could be the best quarterback matchup in the history of Super Bowls. 55 of them, and this could be the best one yet. Look, and the reason I say that, the history of this season with the offensive line, the Buccaneers have really protected Brady very well. And you take into account what he did against the Green Bay Packers, I still cannot get over that. I am starstruck, if you will. I can't believe Rodgers is out on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Anyhow, the ability, I think the key to this game, the ability of what Kansas City can do versus Brady. So Mahomes and Brady. Mahomes is so good at running and scrambling outside of the pocket. He's the future. We're telling everybody, we've already committed to moving forward in the next generation. What's Lamar Jackson do? What's Patrick Mahomes do? Deshaun Watson, you know the drama surrounding them right now. What do all these quarterbacks have in common?
Scrambling ability.
Scrambling out of the pocket. We didn't see that years ago. We didn't see that when Tom Brady came into the league.
Yeah.
That's something you will never see out of Tom Brady. Patrick Mahomes, on the other hand, he does it very well, and he can throw on the run, which makes him a great quarterback. He does well against the blitz, something that I don't know. I'm guessing Tom Brady might hold up and do well against the blitz Sunday coming up. Let's start, though, with Kansas City and their head coach, Andy Reid. He was phenomenal in Philadelphia. They went to the Super Bowl, many times? Actually, I don't know if they even appeared in a Super Bowl. I think they won.
I know they went to the NFC Championship game 3 times in a row.
Okay, but no. So Doug Peterson brought their first ever championship back to Philadelphia. But other than that, you saw now that there's down the drain. You know?
Right.
So, of course, Andy Reid, other than the Super Bowl year Philly had, Andy Reid, look, he left, and now the Philadelphia Eagles are trying to find their identity again. That's a whole other story. But the ability that Coach Andy Reid brought gold with him to Kansas City. And he's only been there since 2013, Ryan. So take into account, if you don't think Andy Reid has already cemented his place in Kansas City history, then you must be looking at another head coach, because I think that he's already considered one of the best head coaches in Chiefs history. Consider how long they've been around.
Yeah.
So here we go. Andy Reid has 7 postseason appearances with these Kansas City Chiefs, 5 division titles, 3 AFC championship games, 2 Super Bowl appearances, and a Super Bowl title, which was last year, 2019. It doesn't get much better than that, does it? And Bruce Arians flipped the switch to the Buccaneers. Bruce Arians, his philosophy, on the other hand, I was reading, he likes to play it, he doesn't like to play it safe. He likes to go all out on the field. And I think that fits Tom Brady very well, because I read Arians' philosophy loves to, on first down, guess what? He's not running the ball a lot, especially with this guy. He's not running the ball a lot. He's not throw a little slant, maybe a couple yards. Guess what he's doing? On first down, 1st and 10, he's going for another first down. And what do we see Tom Brady do the whole time at Lambeau Field? Throw deep bombs, throw touchdowns. They love to go. He said on first down, Bruce Arians likes to go for a first down or a touchdown. How many head coaches do you get that aggressive, huh? And by the way, I love the way Bruce Arians, especially when he was with the Arizona Cardinals, the way he wore his, I like to call it the old-time hat, the old-timer hat.
Yeah, with the glasses.
Exactly, with all the old folks wear, right?
Yeah.
With the glasses, he just had that style to him, that sophisticated style that I loved. So, yeah, man, I tell you, the Buccaneers were 7-9 under Bruce Arians, right? In 2019, 2020, they flipped to 11-5. Now, it doesn't seem like a dramatic improvement, does it? No. But they came through in the clutch when it mattered, especially now during the postseason. So, switching back to Kansas City, though, look, I like what they do. They punch you in the mouth offensively, right? They punch you in the mouth offensively with their end-around routes, whatever you want to call them. Once you get the ball, you like to call them the cheetah. Once you get the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands, you got Tyreek Hill, McCole Hardman, Sammy Watkins. Once you get the ball in their hands, oh my! I mean, it's off to the races. It's
so much speed.
It's like watching NASCAR, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but look, so when you talk about the defensive linemen, Gerald McCoy for the Buccaneers, Jason Pierre-Paul, you're all too familiar with him. Again, he used to be in New York. They're going to have to become ready. They're going to have to play their A game, the best game. Now, don't get me wrong, Kansas City and Tampa Bay, they held up on defense. Defensively stopping the run, they did a very great job in their conference title games, respectively, right? So I don't think, look, I'm predicting now both of these quarterbacks go well over 300 yards in this ball game. I mean, it's the nature of their identity and the offenses that the team's identity. So Ryan, I saw, it's weird, and I'll let you go. I saw a comment earlier last week rather, and it said about the Bucs and Tom Brady want to do this for Bruce Arians. And I think that's very respectful. I mean, can you imagine the greatest of all time, and then how many guys can go to another team and they just say, hey, I want to do this for my head coach. This guy has 6 Super Bowl titles. What's he want to do it for himself? Right? He wants to do it for his head coach now because if you remember, Bruce Arians won 2 Super Bowls as an assistant coach.
Right.
As an assistant coach, Bruce Arians has never won a Super Bowl as a head coach. So, hey, it's very well deserved if he can find a way to stop Patrick Mahomes. But, and you talk about Brady signed a 2-year deal, right? He signed a 2-year deal with the Buccaneers. And I thought it was interesting because Arians has no intention of retiring, I saw, if Tampa Bay delivers in the Super Bowl. But Brady and Arians, the way they work together, I think Brady has coached Bruce Arians more than Arians has coached Brady, Yeah. So, but you talk about, maybe this is a lucky year for Tampa Bay. I don't see it. I'm not buying it because, win or lose, I'm expecting Tampa Bay to be right back, maybe even in the Super Bowl again next year.
Yeah.
So the NFC better watch it. I tell you, they really should watch it. But one thing that I wanted to tell you, Brady had 3 interceptions, right? 3 interceptions against Green Bay
last week, right?
When these two teams met in the regular season, Kansas City won by 3. Okay? When they met, Mahomes went 37 for 49, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tom Brady, on the other hand, 27 for 41, 345, 3 touchdowns. He matched Mahomes' total touchdown completions, but the number that stands out, Brady had 2 interceptions. So, hey, look, take it for what it is. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to, of course, you had Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger.
Yeah.
And according to Pro Football Reference, he was the number 1 safety in the league last year. So in the summer last year, they ranked him as number 1. So the Kansas City Chiefs have that going for them at least. Because these defenses need help big time.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball. So, but yeah, look, I mean, and then you talk about the quarterbacks so much. You want to talk about the quarterbacks. How about let's talk about the kickers? Ryan Suckup, Harrison Butker. It may come down to a field goal. Why aren't we talking about these guys?
Yeah, special teams plays an important part in every game.
Exactly. So why aren't we talking about these guys heading into Super Bowl 55? Ryan Suckup, Harrison Butker has missed a couple extra points here and there. So you keep an eye on that. But, yeah, man, I mean, what can you say? I think it's going to be fun. Le'Veon Bell has not played a major role in this offense like I thought he would. But I think it's just because of, not to call Mahomes greedy, but I think it's just because of the excellent play style that Mahomes brings to the table. I don't think you need an A-plus running back. I don't know about you. I don't think you need an A-plus running back in this offensive system that Andy Reid runs. So, yeah, like I said, something has to give because the last time Mahomes lost in the playoffs, Ryan, 37-31, overtime win. It was the Patriots. Brady beating Mahomes. The last time Mahomes, this regular season, Mahomes beat Brady by 3. Something has to give. I have the Kansas City Chiefs winning this game. We talk about the future and the past. I have Kansas City winning this ball game, maybe by a touchdown. 40-34 maybe. I don't know. Maybe 40-37.
You're thinking high score.
3-point game. I'm thinking high score. I don't think these defenses, either one will have. Of course, remember when a couple years ago the Rams and the Patriots went into the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
And I think that was a year where the Rams were scoring, 50-some points a game. At the end of the game, it was like 13-3.
Yeah, defensive
New England
game.
won.
Right.
Yeah, right. New England won. So, hey, look, you never know, but I'm going with my gut here, and I'm going with the Kansas City Chiefs back-to-back Super Bowl titles, and I don't think that's happened since, I think it was 03-04, New England Patriots.
And Tom Brady, of course, Tom Brady.
Of course, Tom Brady. But, yeah, I think that we are getting ready to see the future. It's tough. It's tough for me to say right now whether or not Brady will win another Super Bowl. I don't want to sit back and say that he will not. But I just think at this point in time, the generation we're moving into, we're in the year, 2021, I think that football is going to see the next best thing. And I think he's going to come away with his second ring, and that's Pat Mahomes.
Well, what the Chiefs have to do.
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
What the Chiefs have to do on offense. Let me start with their offense. I think the key for this Chiefs is to just keep what they've done all season long. Stick with what you're best at, extending plays. Patrick Mahomes, we saw it last season in the Super Bowl against the 49ers. Patrick Mahomes escaping outside of the pocket, extending plays so his receivers can get down the field and throw deep bombs to his receivers. And I think that was a big part in why they won the Super Bowl last season. It's very hard for a defense to guard all of those guys down the field for that amount of time. You talk about all of the weapons on this Chiefs offense: Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, McCole Hardman. There's so much speed on this offense, so hard for a defense to cover. And we saw that last week against the Bills. Kelce and Mahomes absolutely torched the Buffalo defense. Absolutely unguardable. Seemed like they could get open on almost every single play. And like you mentioned, in Week 12, when both of these teams played, the Bucs and the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill, unguardable in that game. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, I said it last week and I'll say it again. You have to get pressure on Tom Brady. Get him on the ground, sack him. Maybe not even sack him, just pressure him. At least knock him down a little bit. Force him to get the ball out early. Get in his head. Make him frustrated. Frank Clark, Chris Jones did a good job of pressuring Josh Allen in the AFC Championship game last week. They forced Allen to get off balance. He didn't look like himself in that game except the first two possessions when they went up 9-0. After that, Kansas City knocked him around, pressured him a little bit,
All went downhill then, right?
Yeah,
You know, I told you
downhill.
about Josh Allen, man, didn't I?
That's right.
Of course, he beat the Ravens in the playoffs, so that's my boy now.
Yeah.
That's my boy. I have to love him, right? Yeah, Josh Allen still has a lot of work to do. That's a very talented kid, but he has some work. He has some work to do.
Yeah, and that's what they have to do against Tom Brady. They have to get him frustrated. They have to knock him around, get him out of his comfort zone. Now, this playoff run for the Chiefs, of course, they got the first round bye. They didn't play in the wild card divisional round. Chiefs won. They beat the Browns 22-17. Mahomes left that game early in the third quarter, didn't return. Backup Chad Henne came into the game. He was able to hold the lead for the Chiefs, send them to the AFC Championship game against the Bills. Chiefs won that game 38-24. Mahomes looked like his old self after that injury. Looked like he didn't even get injured. Threw for 3 touchdowns. So, with that being said, moving on to the Bucs, what they have to do to win on offense. I just talked about Kansas City and all their weapons. Don't forget about the Buccaneers' weapons. Wide receiver Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, running backs Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones. And, of course, they traded for tight end Rob Gronkowski, who came out of retirement.
Yeah.
Can't forget about him.
I thought, oh, boy, when I saw that, I thought, oh, boy. But how about AB?
Yeah,
Antonio Brown?
Antonio Brown didn't play last week. Can't forget about him, too.
Yeah.
And, of course, the greatest quarterback of all time, Tom Brady.
Right here. Yep.
So this offense, they looked a little shaky last week against Green Bay. Tom Brady threw 3 interceptions. You can't do that this upcoming Sunday in the Super Bowl. Can't throw 3 interceptions in the Super Bowl.
Right.
They can't afford to give the ball to Patrick Mahomes and this potent Chiefs offense. They need to string out long drives, try to limit Kansas City's possessions, try to keep the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. Now, that's obviously easier said than done.
Good luck, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
The magic number for the Bucs, I found this interesting. Bucs, when they score 26 or more, undefeated on the season. Now, for this defense, I think the key for this team, I think their defense is more important than their offense, and we saw that last week in the championship game. This defense forced 2 turnovers on the Packers' offense, scored 14 points off of those two turnovers, 2 touchdowns. They need to do that again this week in the Super Bowl, create turnovers, set their offense up in good field position, and make sure they capitalize on those turnovers. Another key, I just talked about Patrick Mahomes escaping outside the pocket.
Yep.
They need to try to keep him in the pocket. Don't let him scramble outside of the pocket and extend plays to dot his wide receivers up downfield. Now, this playoff run for the Bucs, obviously, they were the 5th seed, didn't get the first round bye like Kansas City did. They played in the wild card game against Washington. Washington surprisingly gave them a pretty good game, but the Bucs overpowered Washington in the 4th quarter, divisional round. Bucs 30, Saints 20. Saints beat them both times in the regular season.
Yeah.
Tom Brady got the best of Drew Brees. If that was Drew Brees' last game, that's a tough way to go. Drew Brees, one of the worst performances of his career. You'd hate to see him go out of the league like that.
Yeah.
One of his worst performances. Bucs advanced NFC Championship game last week. Bucs beat the Packers 31-26 at Lambeau Field. And despite Brady's 3 interceptions, the Bucs defense let them off the hook a little bit. And, of course, the Bucs are hosting the Super Bowl at their home stadium.
First time ever.
Yep, and
I
mentioned, these 2 teams played in Week 12. Like you said, Kansas City won 27-24 by 3 points. Mahomes, 462 yards, 3 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill caught all 3 of those touchdowns. 13 receptions, 269 yards. And I said earlier in the week I was going to pick Tom Brady because I didn't do it last week, and I knew I should have. I don't like to pick against Tom Brady.
But you're going against him again, huh?
But I gotta pick the Chiefs in this one and the Super Bowl, back-to-back champs. I think they're going to flex their muscles again. And
I know,
I think
man.
they're going to go back-to-back.
I know. It's crazy, right? I mean, you and I had Tampa Bay most of the week leading up to this preview, and then all of a sudden, we were both switching over to Kansas City. But, hey, look, this is official now, so we can't change
Right.
it. Kansas City, Super Bowl champions. Ryan and I both have it, so I tell you, man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I know we talked about, though, how Tom Brady turned it over 3 times against – well, I talked to you about I think just one time might be too much to handle, against this talented Kansas City team. But it's going to be fun. It really is.
Yeah, and let's hope that, you have to give props to the league. Throughout this whole season with COVID going on, give props to the league that the absolutely good job that they've done to not cancel any games. They've had to postpone some, push some back. They've been able to. The league has been able to play every single game this season.
Every single
so
game,
let's
yeah.
hope all of the players, the coaches, and the staff members on the Bucs and the Chiefs are able to pass COVID protocols. Everybody tests negative, so this Super Bowl can be played on time and everybody's healthy. It should be a really good game.
I don't think any major injuries either for either team. Not that I'm tracking so far. So, yeah, everybody's coming in healthy, and I know you can't ask for much more if you're a head coach.